Yep.
Hi guys, my name's Dave Gregan and I work for Picture Hire Australia. We're probably Adelaide's premier rental company. I'm the manager here and I'm here with Daniel Charlton from Pro AV Solutions, who do a lot of sales of camera equipment. We only do hires, and then if you want to chat with Daniel about sales, then you can do that. Tonight we're doing a live streaming session on behalf of the ACS, the Australian Cinematographers Society. The reason we're doing this is obviously with everything that's happening with COVID-19, streaming is obviously becoming a lot more of a reality. A lot of the time actually we've sort of avoided streaming just because we've always been a bit worried that there's too much to think about. We've sort of avoided it and gone, look, let's just let the people who do that really well handle it. But because obviously the reality of the situation now, we feel that there's a lot more need for that. So we've taken upon ourselves to purchase some live stream equipment through Pro AV Solutions, and Daniel's sort of helped us get that all up and running. And we've sort of discovered that it's not necessarily as difficult as you might initially think, or as scary as you initially think. I'm not particularly as good with computers and that sort of stuff as other people are, but I found the transition hasn't been as difficult, and that's what we're going to try and achieve tonight. Is basically Daniel will go through a lot of that sort of technical stuff and a lot of different things, which he'll go into in a minute. Also, at the end of the presentation, we'll be doing basically a Q&A. So if you sort of look to the right of your screen, you'll see a little, basically a little chat window. So you can either, when you think of questions, you can just put them in there and we'll read them at the end, or you can wait until the end and just type them out, and we'll try to get to as many as possible. Cool.
No worries. Thanks for coming, everybody. Probably just a little bit of an open disclaimer. What we go through tonight, there are 100 different ways to do this, and this is one of many. So we're just talking about what's available and what we can do with some easy bits of kit. So probably the first question is, why stream? So you would be wanting to stream video, or why would your client want to be streaming video? So obviously in the current climate, things like not being able to go out and see people and deliver your message face to face. So the viewer reach is amazing. You can keep your events going, even with the current restrictions that are available to us. You can engage viewers like we're attempting to do tonight, where we can go back and chat in the chat board and do Q&A backwards and forwards. Ultimately, both your client and yourselves can keep working, which is really, really important, why we wanted to put tonight on more than anything. So, as a starting point, I've done a bit of streaming in the past, and this is nothing new to me, but thought we'd impart some knowledge that we've learned along the time, over the time. So, things you can do, like how to generate work around streaming. So, you've all got clients, you've all got people you currently deal with, and you probably noticed that some of that work has significantly dried up at the moment. So streaming is probably the best avenue right now to help get that back. And a lot of your end users have zero video knowledge and no camera gear or anything like that, so that's where you fit in. Going out and just letting them know that you're there to help them get their message out there. You can drive all the technical side of things, and they can just deliver their message or seminar or whatnot. It works for everybody. So once your client has sort of said, yeah, streaming's a great idea, where do we go from here? There's some really important key questions that you want to ask them up front. And planning for a stream is everything. So what platform do they want to go to? So probably the main platforms out there that are really public are Facebook and YouTube. They could stream directly using their mobile phone if they wanted to, but ultimately they're going to deliver a pretty subpar result. And once again, that's where you come in using your proper gear or some of the rental gear that Picture Hire's got here available, or even if you've got to invest a little bit of money to tool up yourself. Yeah, using YouTube or Facebook, great platforms. Their reach is amazing, and then your other platforms out there are things like Skype, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Twitch. Plenty of platforms out there, and different platforms suit different things for different clients. So, as a rough guide, I like to use YouTube as Facebook as a predominant streaming platform for the reasons that your end user gets a notification when you go live. So even if they're sitting at home and they weren't planning on engaging what you're doing currently, they get a notification that says Picture Hire has gone live, and they go, oh yeah, I'll start watching that, even if they might not have been that interested initially. And then similar with YouTube, YouTube's really good for scheduling events, and the live chat platform works really well. But the cons of these services are that whilst they're free, and there are paid versions of YouTube as well, but if you've got things like copyrighted music in the background, or it can often accidentally pull the stream because it auto detects that, and sometimes you get ads during the stream as well, which might not be necessarily desirable for what you're putting out there. So you could be selling, be a fruit and veg grocer, and you're selling fruit and veg online, and then it comes up with an ad for the fruit and veg shop around the corner, and Facebook are pretty good at doing things like that. So using a paid service, whether it be something like Vimeo, can also be really good for getting away from that ad platform. The benefits of using things like Skype, Teams and Zoom are that you can control the viewers that are watching really simply. So I'll use Zoom as an example. Taking a video feed into Zoom, you could send out your meeting invite to your select database in advance. Say, please join the Zoom call. In the event that you were charging for this as a service, like I was giving a seminar and I wanted to charge my users for it, I would only send that link out to people that have paid in advance for that seminar. And then on your Zoom platform, you're able to see who wants to join the Zoom call. And if you know that that person has shared that link out with somebody and they're trying to join but they haven't paid for that service, you can just not let them join the call, and you have complete visibility over that. So that's really good if you're conducting like a 1 to 20, 1 to 30 sort of environment. But if you're wanting to get massive reach, YouTube and Facebook are definitely the answers. So, as we mentioned earlier, tonight's not going to be super technical heavy. So we're just going to jump into sort of how we're running tonight, and you can get an idea, get some ideas flowing about your business model and how that would work for your clients. So just going to talk about some of the basic equipment available to you. So just have to excuse me because I am also driving the Switch. And all right, so I'll get Dave just to jump around onto the other camera. We have in this setup quite a bit of overkill for what we're trying to do tonight, but it's just so we can run you through quite a few things. So at the core of tonight, we're running a Blackmagic ATEM switcher. This is a 8 input switcher, 4 HDMI, 4 SDI inputs. Takes audio either embedded or via analog. You can switch on the front panel here if you wish, or you can switch on the software control panel. What we're seeing up here is a multi-view of all of my sources. So we've got the camera we were presenting to first, the camera we're now presenting to, a couple of holding slide graphics which we'll talk more in detail about later, and then I've got a graphics machine in here. So the graphics machine in this setup, now's probably the best time to talk about it, is if I wanted to show like some full motion video or some pre-generated content, that's the way to do it. And we will now cut to the graphics machine. Sorry about the fades, everybody. I can do hard cuts, but it's easy to press fade. So, talking about the gear that you can use, so probably is its most simplistic point of view. Blackmagic are probably market leaders in this entry-level space and offer some really good stuff that's really good value. The Blackmagic Ultra Studio Mini Recorder is partly what we're using to run tonight's stream. It's got both an SDI and a HDMI input, and it's one or the other, and then goes out via Thunderbolt. This device only works via a Mac, but we could, if you need something that's PC friendly, Blackmagic also do a device called an Intensity Shuttle. So this is the same thing, but USB on it, and once again, perfect for going into services like YouTube and Facebook through a platform like OBS, which OBS is a streaming encoding piece of software. It's free, and we'll talk about that a bit more in a moment. So, then a little bit more complicated, but Zoom, Skype and Teams don't necessarily see the input from these devices. So this is one of those questions that you really need to ask your client up front for what platform are you wanting to stream to. And if they are wanting to go through to, say, that Teams platform, you need a device that is going to trick the computer into thinking it's a webcam interface, because that's what Zoom wants to see. It needs a UVC capable device. Universal Video something converter. So this is a device from AJA. Once again, HDMI in. They also do an SDI version, USB on the output, and basically it just tricks the device to thinking it's a USB only, USB webcam. And yeah, there's a couple of other solutions from, say, Magewell and Logitech and a couple other companies out there that are all do similar things. If you really want to step up what you're doing, you can either use something like what we talked about, which we're running tonight through that switch, or a new device that was released last week from Blackmagic again. This is a 4-input switcher, and it's capable of scaling all your inputs, but where this is really, really good is it's got a USB-C output, so you don't actually need the mini recorder or the UTAP or anything like that. It goes straight into the computer as a hardware switcher without the need for software or anything like that. We're expecting these in a couple of weeks, and yeah, it's a pretty powerful device. And yeah, we'll jump back now into how we're running tonight, and yeah, more so what's available. So I'll cut back to this camera. One moment, please. Cut. All right, so Dave, if you can just frame up on the screens here, and we'll go through what we're doing. Thank you. So, in a really non-technical way, this is what's called a preview program switcher. So the advantages of this are that you can see all your sources. You can have things like holding slides, like we had the graphic up earlier. We could pull into a media pool. We can have a holding slide and switch away. So in the event something doesn't go right for you when you are doing this live stream, you've got some safety net. I'm looking for my camera feed, which is there. And so great thing about this system is whatever you see here is whatever is you're about to cut to, so you can queue up content without it going live to air. Whatever you see here is going live to air. So if you see problems here, it's going out to air. You You can also do some basic audio mixing, and you can throw picture-in-picture, lower third graphics in. Just depends on how technical and how much you want to learn the system. It's really powerful. Then what did I want to cover next? Okay, so just going back about that preview program solution, I'll queue up the other camera that we've got in this system, the wireless camera, and you'll see that change on this screen here. So we'd want to cut to camera 2, and we can cut between those now, and you'll see they swap. And when they swap, if you're just doing a 2-camera switch and you're just wanting to cut between camera A and camera B, you can do this really easily and still direct a show. Or if you've got 2 locked off cameras, one person can drive a lot of content. What else do I want to cover in this area? So the other nice thing is we've got this graphics machine in this setup, which we covered with all these slides that I brought up before. But if you don't want another computer and you just want simple holding slides, if you just want to pull out for a little bit, Dave, thank you. So the ATEM here is capable of holding graphics or media pools. So we can see down here. So these graphics here are actually loaded into the switcher. So if we wanted to talk about what's available, say from Picture Hire as a rental option, so we'll pull it up in our preview and we go, all right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cut. We can talk about the solution that's available. So they've got the monitor as part of this, they've got the switcher and the computer that we're doing all of this for. It's sort of a one-stop device or one-stop solution that you can drive a pretty good system out of, and all you have to do is add cameras and if you don't own those, you can also rent or buy them, but yeah, it's pretty flexible. We've got some questions coming in, I'll come back to those in a minute. So please keep asking along the way, and we'll go from there. What else? So this system, I'm just going to cut back to my camera feed of me now. So whilst we're doing this as a live switch, this can also be used in a live venue environment. So if you had like a projector or a screen, you could be sending this signal out during non-COVID times. So it's something that's not just live streaming, but also just doing a multi-camera venue switch, which is becoming more and more in demand for conferences, and people want to jazz up their presentations. So how we're now encoding this out to YouTube is there's a free piece of software called OBS, which stands for Open Broadcasting Software. And Dave, if you can just pull really closely into this machine. OBS is basically taking the video feed, and we're going to get some like 80s kind of picture-in-picture here, and its job is to take the video stream, and then we tell it within here what platform you want to stream to. So if we wanted to go out to Facebook or YouTube or whatever platform we wanted to, this is it. You grab the URL that you want to stream to, which in streaming terms is called a stream key, paste it in here, and then once you've pasted that in, it's kind of like a password and a URL all in one. Hit start streaming. You can also use this to record at the same time, but hit start streaming, and that will then push that out to YouTube. And that's what we are doing over here. And you would normally do this on the one machine, but for tonight, because I wanted to play around with it live, we can. This is what's pushing out the stream live to YouTube. And it's a similar sort of platform for Facebook in a similar way. So, and you can turn on comments, turn off comments. It's a great way to do it for next to nothing. So, because dollars are tight, and worth doing it. So just in terms of some advice that I've learned over the years when doing live streams, so planning in advance is key. You want a crystal clear run sheet as if it was a live event that you're running, and you want minute by minute of we're going to go cut from camera A, cut to camera B, or graphics are due to come in here. And there's plenty of examples online of like run sheets for live events. If any of you have ever worked in staging, you would definitely be really familiar with this. So having a really good run sheet lets you plan stuff out on paper, make sure there's no nasty surprises, and also you can have all your graphics prepared and even playlists. Having things like holding slides like we had up front with the live streams about to start at 6:30, really good thing to have, because you want your stream to maybe kick off 5-10 minutes before the event, just so people can join, but they don't get just to a black screen or you walking around going, are we live yet? What's going on? You may have accidentally heard us talking in the background because I forgot to mute the audio before. But they're all things that you can learn from your mistakes, and you can do dry runs and practice before events. But yeah, having a countdown timer or like a thanks for watching slide, or if it's a long event, we'll be right back. And they're all graphics that you make in advance. And if you get fancy, you can do things like countdown timers and stuff as videos. So. That's sort of streaming in a nutshell, and a really basic overview of some of the tools that you can do it, use to do it. There are plenty of free YouTube resources out there of people teaching you how to use all of these devices. Probably some 10-year-old kid showing you how to use OBS and probably doing a better job than me. But it's, definitely a really powerful tool in today's environment for all business models, and we can see by tonight we've got, I don't know, reasonable amount of viewers, and this will then be able to be available online afterwards for anyone that missed it live, but still being able to engage directly. We'd usually do this in-house and have a room full of people, but we're still able to deliver our content. So I'm just going to jump to some questions. So I've got a question from Richie. The compact switcher, is that PC or Mac? It works over Ethernet, so we don't actually need the computer there. We're just controlling it over Ethernet. It is Mac and PC compatible. You can also control it through an iPad or something if you want to hook it up to a wireless network. But in the configuration that Picture Hire have got this, it's a walk-away solution with a basic laptop, a multi-view screen, and the switcher. Hopefully that answers your question, Richie. Chloe's got a question about some lighting. So that's something we definitely probably should have done a bit better tonight, especially since we work in the film and television industry. Thanks for pointing that out. But yeah, in an environment like this, lighting is also something that, as a cinematographer, is something that will separate you from your client setting up a camera and viewing themselves like this and it looks like garbage. So lighting a scene, you would like this as if it was an interview or whatever. And some people like putting lights in shot in streams. It makes it seem like a bigger production, and they're like, wow, these people have really gone to effort. Kind of like if you're watching like 60 Minutes and on the wide shot or something. But yeah, it's up to you. So lighting is definitely key. If you want some more solutions that are available for lighting, check out our website at proviexpress.com.au, and the guys at Picture Hire have got some stuff available for hire as well. At the moment we're just using the downlight fluoros, which is a bit of a faux pas. We have a question from Jordan. So if you want the pre-recorded video content, what do I do from another computer? So there's a couple of ways. You can either, you wouldn't need a switcher. If you wanted to pre-record a whole 20-minute set, half-hour set, and then just make it look live. You could play out from one computer to another using a device like the UTAP or the mini recorder and go computer to computer. You can also use OBS to do screen capture as another option. So there's a couple of demo videos on live how to do that. So, but you cannot load video content into this switcher. It's still imagery only. Hence why I've got the machine here running graphics, and that's why if I wanted to play a video or something like that, we could have some video content. And I'll just for argument's sake, and this is a really low res video, but I'm just going to cut to a full screen video on my graphics machine, and we'll cut to that. So we've got Philip Bloom talking about the Sony FX9 here, and yeah, that's one bit of content you could throw back to if you wanted some full motion video. So I'm just going to pause that. I have not hidden my edit very neatly, but it's all practice. So I think I've answered your question about you can do animated holding slides, Jordan, but there is a Targa sequence, and you're better off doing it as just video. Thanks for your feedback and props, Rodney, much appreciated. And well, got another question here from Chloe. So, what means we need a switcher? Not sure what that means exactly. Sorry, Chloe. So, if you want to be a bit more in detail in the chat, happy to answer that again. And yeah, I think that's probably all the questions we've got time for tonight, but happy to come back to you in a chat. You know how to get in touch with both of us. But yeah, just going back to why we put tonight on, streaming is, in my opinion, probably the best way of getting work back into your repertoire at the moment, and just asking the right questions of your client and sort of being there to hold their hand. And yeah, other than that, thanks everybody for joining. I'll get Dave to jump back in on camera and sign off. But yeah.
Daniel, just a question from me. Is it worth showing people like some of the stuff you can do on the ATEM at the front of it, and even maybe just some I can grab a camera and show some of the back of it with the outputs?
Yeah, sure. I think we'll do that. So
I'll just zoom in.
Yeah, so we can do without the need for that computer we were talking about. One moment. So we get a neat little preview of whatever's going out live here. I know that input 4 is black at the moment. So we can do hard cuts on here. And I can do auto fades as well between sources. How I've got this set up at the moment is not to do that, but yes, you can do hard cutting on the buttons on the front and just cut between your sources if you so desired, and edit that way if you wanted to. So. And you can cut to your media pools and other graphics that we've got within here, just as fades, simply doing it this way. I'll get Dave maybe to jump around just on the other camera, and we will just show you the back of the setup and point through a couple of devices quite quickly. So.
Do you want to cut back to the other shot while I reposition?
Yep, so at the moment we are live on that still.
Yep.
And so while we're doing this, Chloe, so to have a good quality live stream, you don't necessarily need a switcher, Chloe. You can do it just using one of these devices, but to have something to cut away to, which is really what separates you from someone's phone, other than the quality difference, is having a switcher. And there are also more basic versions of this, which is just like AB, so like two camera feeds from companies like Roland. But yeah, there's plenty of options out there. Yep, so we're going to cut live to the back camera here, and please excuse the cabling setup. We've pulled this together. So we are going to cut to camera...
I think you're already live on this one,
Yep.
Daniel.
Oh, thank you. All right. So back of the switcher here, we've got a whole bunch of inputs. We've got 4 SDI inputs, 4 HDMI inputs. Richie's question before, the switcher is controlled via Ethernet. We're then running out to the multi-view monitor, and as the encoder, this is the device between the computer and the switcher. So if you didn't have a switcher, you could plug straight into one of these. Yeah, with the switcher, it goes into there, and it's like having multiple cameras, but this could be just a single camera.
Sure. So that's like a HDMI in? And
yeah, HDMI
USB.
in, and they also do an SDI version, but it's HDMI in, USB out, works on both Mac and PC.
Sure.
Hmm.
Cool. Do you want to cut back?
Um,
Do you want to cut back to the wide?
Yes, I'm just going to cut back to the wide of me. Generally, it's not a good idea to present and switch at the same time. You're making your life really difficult, and it's demonstrating tonight. So we're now back on the wide shot of the desk, and yeah. I think that's probably all we really need to go through. As I said, it's not like a super technical run through. If you want more info, get in touch, and we can do training sessions one-on-one or something like that, or like a consultation based on your needs for your business. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching, and yeah, speak soon. And I'm going to cut and fade out by just ending the stream.